Okay, victory for Celtic at Pittodrie. Goals from Benjamin Nygren, his first competitive goal for the club. Real Hatate with a contender for goal of the season as well. I'm Hamish. Don't know why I've introduced myself. You know who I am. You know who he is as well. Stevie is on. Stevie, we could talk about, Nygren's first goal. We could talk about Hatate's screamer, or maybe how poor Aberdeen were, or how it feels to be 4 points clear of Rangers already. But of course, the main story here is the lack of tie on Brendan Rodgers, because that's what football fans care about, isn't it? What their manager wears. No, wait, that's the other team that do that. God, they're weird, aren't they?
No comment there, but I was very strange that it was a talking point at all. Very much Lionel Hutz in The Simpsons. He probably went up with one earlier on the day, turned his back and was doing all this. He's not wearing a tie at all. That's one for the Simpsons heads there. But I found it very, very strange that was indeed a shout. But I guess, Sky, Chris Boyd and everyone else have to make a drama out of the things that don't matter, I suppose.
What do you think the reason was? I get that I'm getting into everything you just railed against there in that answer, but do you think he's worn it in hot conditions before? I think it was kind of relatively warm. It certainly looked sunny at Pittodrie. Was it a statement towards the board, maybe? I'm not one of you.
Yes, just taking the words out of my mouth. It was a veiled statement towards the board of how he's fed up, and if he's going to dress or look the part, why should they bother? So get the signings in and he'll start being sharp-suited and everything again. I don't know. This is just all filler at this point, and it really does not matter.
Yep, doesn't specialise in ties, Brendan Rodgers. That's Russell Martin that does that. And a couple of ties for Rangers to kick off the season. 2 digs at that mob. Look, we don't care about them. We're talking about Celtic. It was a 2-0 victory over Aberdeen. This was the starting lineup, everyone. I think, as I correctly predicted in the lead up to the game, Schmeichel, Johnston, Carter-Vickers, Scales, Tierney, McGregor, Nygren, Hatate, Forrest, Maida, and Ida. Yeah, a good job, a good victory. Pleased with it. I'll be totally honest, I don't think Celtic were sparkling. I don't think it was a particularly amazing performance, but can't argue with the result, 2-0. And apparently one of the tougher away games that we have, Stevie, although I know you have some thoughts on that.
Sort of a big nose there is just stretching out. When
you need to explain that for the podcast listeners.
As I said, that this Pittodrie is a hard place to go. It is the laziest cliche you'll get. It's not. We last lost there 2016. Ever since we've been going there, the only points we've dropped has been 2 draws, of course, in the COVID season, and of course 1-1 draw when Celtic were going through a really bad spell when Brendan returned. It's not a difficult place to go. Celtic have went there, as I say, for pretty much 10 years now and stamped their authority all over that stadium. It's just been very, very straightforward and simple for us, and I thought this afternoon was again. For me, I would say coming away for that, and I know we come on here, we talk about, it is called Celtic AM, okay? But the biggest thing for me after that game, and I texted a few other mates as well, yourself, Hamish, I was really blown away. I was actually shocked with just how bad Aberdeen were. That was like a post-split game where we've already won the league, and we went there, one of the routine games for both sides, or maybe saving ourselves for like a final that's coming, or players that are out of contract are already got one eye on a move and the holidays and that. It was very much like that for me. I'm expecting, a game where Aberdeen, after getting horsed on Monday against an impressive Hearts side, I thought Aberdeen would have came out and had a real go today. I thought maybe for a good half hour or so, Aberdeen would have gave a right good account of themselves. I think they managed, 8 minutes at the start, and then as soon as we went down and threatened very briefly, that was them completely out of the game. Hideous performance. Celtic didn't even need to get out of first gear. I've seen that they were saying that in Sky as well. Sky complimented us a wee bit more than that by saying we didn't need to get out of second gear. But it was just so straightforward, Hamish. And even when there's problems in that squad and we are crying out for more quality, and I don't think every player impressed today. That was, we're going to look back on that. It's been one of the easiest wins that we've had all season.
I mean, I take your point about Aberdeen not offering much. They had a shot early on, a long range shot. By the way, after like the most obvious handball of all time was missed by John Beaton. I'm speechless. About that. Yeah, but Aberdeen ended up getting a corner. It comes to nothing, and they had another chance, I think at 2-0, where it was a bit scrappy in the box, and the guy kind of gets a shot away, and Schmeichel saves it pretty well. Other than that, created absolutely nothing. But how much of that is down to Celtic being, quite well organised? Because I think it is a pretty strong defence. I mean, Alistair Johnson, probably one of my top performers today throughout the game, I thought. I mean, not vintage Alistair Johnson, but I think he's just such an excellent player. And Kieran Tierney was pretty good as well, especially with that assist for the first goal. So, yeah, I do think Celtic were pretty good defensively today, and that is the one positive. We know our attacking areas we need quality in, and we can touch on that again in this video. But I think defensively, I think we look pretty solid.
We did, and the I was going to say the purchase, but obviously we brought him in for nothing, didn't we? But Tierney was just fantastic, real quality. And again, I mean, I was going on about him. Maybe some people thought I exaggerated last week against St Mirren with how much I was glowing his performance, but I thought he was really good. And again today, the one bit of quality that we really showed in that first half leads to a very good opener from Benjamin Negrin, who again could have scored a similar type of goal last weekend, we remember.
Yeah.
Shamil George tipped it onto the bar. But really good finish. But that was all down to KT. I agree with you. I thought Alistair Johnston up against Keskinen just marshalled him very well. And I know what you're saying about how we set up. I felt we were always going to be setting up again in that 4-3-3. And I think for myself, for what I noticed, right, again, Aberdeen played with the two sitters, Graham Shinney and the boy Nielsen there. And,
two
at times
dogs,
I thought,
Stevie, couple of dogs in there.
And they've just got no pace, Hamish. And Celtic's midfield, why I would say it can be lightweight, and when there's a bit of aggression needed, they can be found wanting. But the one thing that you can't really accuse Celtic's midfield three of being is immobile and very, very slow against the Aberdeen side like that, who are just sitting with, as I say, two number sixes there just in front of the centre backs, but offering nothing going forward at all. So the amount of space we had in the first half, I was surprised with that. But again, I think that's what Jimmy Taylor was looking to do, or like the cup final where we had a lot of the ball, and again looking to maybe try and stay in the game for as much as possible. That second goal does kill it. But I think Celtic's whole game plan to get that first goal pretty much killed Aberdeen, Hamish, because then after that you knew they couldn't just sit in and look to counter us. They would have had to come out. And again, they've got just no attacking threat at all. I mean, for all we bemoan Adam either, and I'm sure we'll get to that boy Yenge for them.
Oh, dear.
Oh, really bad. So when he's the focal point of your attack, and I know that boy, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. You can do that, Hamish, the guy that had the shot for 25 yards that Schmeichel saved.
You might have noticed a couple of minutes ago, Stevie actually decided not to mention him by name because I couldn't actually remember his name. I think it's there's a lot of vowels in there.
I'm not even going to try and go for it as well.
Adil Al-Chichi, I think we're going with.
We'll go with that. Just go with him. You like him. Milanovic, I thought, was one of the better players against Hearts. Offered nothing. And as I said, Keskinen was marshalled very well. So, again, Celtic knew it was really going to be a case of being as professional as possible, stifling Aberdeen whenever, they did have the ball, but essentially making sure that in that midfield, really it was a case of utilising the fact that Nielsen and Shinney have got no legs in them anymore, and I think if we overran them in there, would have been fine, and I think we did that pretty effectively today without, of course, being our absolute best.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Like, Celtic weren't at our best today. We didn't need to be, but it was a really routine victory, and I thought we did a lot of good things. I mean, that I thought there was a certain irony in like the week or after weeks of Brendan Rodgers and every other Celtic fan talking about the need for first team quality. We get that opening goal from the two first team signings we've really made, guys who have gone straight in and improved that first team. Kieran Tierney Benji Negrin. I'm going to make a major statement, Steve. It's probably not a major statement, that's not the last time those two are going to combine for a goal this season. I'm not sure last week against St Mirren, the one you're talking about, was that Tierney as well to Negrin? Or was it Maida?
No, I know the ball did come for the left-hand side, I'm sure. Again, this is how bad it is that those St Mirren games haven't even watched those St Mirren games. That St Mirren game, I haven't even watched the highlights back. I've only seen the goal from Luke McCown, so I topped him here. But I'm sure it did come for the left-hand side, though, and that's how we got that break right before half-time.
But yeah, I mean, I was kind of watching that, and like, I feel we're going to have the same debate that we had when Joe Hart, who was amazing for his left, and Casper came in, and we love Joe Hart, and it's not talking down Joe Hart by saying that Casper maybe does things slightly better, and I feel like we're having the same thing with Greg Taylor and Kieran Tierney. I loved Greg Taylor, and I hope it's not a diss at Greg Taylor, but like, I don't think we get that kind of goal last season from the left. Greg Taylor isn't really in that position. He's probably a bit deeper and maybe playing it to someone like Dyson in that position Tierney found himself. But yeah, it's just such a new weapon that we have. Well, I guess it's an old weapon that we have, Kieran Tierney running up that left-hand side like we used to see. And it's amazing to see. And he had a run right after the goal as well, where he skinned the guy and then he kind of cut it back and it came to nothing. But God, Tierney's good. And this is him getting up to speed. I actually thought at the start of the game he looked kind of ever so slightly shaky. He had the moment with Scales where I think it was a foul. And he also passed the ball right out of the park. But he just gets so much quality. One wee point I just have to make, just quickly going to recruitment. So we've got Kieran Tierney, who's clearly, we're going to be managing his game time. He's clearly only going to play 65 minutes per game at this point anyway, and we'll see as we go on. And the kind of rotation option that we have for Kieran Tierney is Liam Scales, who starts the game at centre-back. And now that's happened 2 weeks in a row. And like, it's okay, we've kind of got away with it the last 2 weeks, but like that just is unacceptable. Like, we've known Tierney's coming in. We know his game time's got to be managed. You need to have another left back there, not a centre back who can play at left back. So that's not ideal. But positives, Tierney's cutback, great finish for Negrin as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, took it very well. And again, it was one of the ones that was a very instinctive, quick thinking effort. Took it really well, and it was funny because before the game, I mean, I'm not bemoaning him or anything, but I didn't think Negrin was having the best of games either. I don't even think he was quietly effective. I think in general, it seemed like the game was passing him by, and I was messaging a couple of people saying, I think Negrin's more like a winger more than a centre mid. A couple of people were agreeing with me. But again, this is why I'm not a football manager. Is it? What I
disagree with that. I disagree.
Well, you disagree with the fact he wasn't having a good game? You thought he was one of our better performers?
No, I disagree. I think he's better in the middle than the winger.
Okay. Well, I mean, there we are now. He's scored a goal from there, hasn't he? So, and he almost got one last week. But yeah, I think it was just the fact that what I've noticed from him now, like everyone else, that he's late runs into that box and he looks stiff. He's like very Abada did that, didn't he? If you're going, out wide and then chasing if the ball's out in the left, like chasing the ball into the penalty box area, he seems as if he's very good instinctively there. So that's maybe a phase of his play to keep an eye on. But I think Negrin's done well, settled in. So, I mean, that goal will do him the world of good, won't it?
Yeah.
One of the ones too, because last week I thought he was generally very quiet. Again, up until his goal, I think he was too. But that goal will do all sorts of for his confidence in terms of settling in and everything too.
Yeah. Really, really pleased for him. I thought his celebrations were brilliant as well. Real passion there in front of the Celtic fans, and Negrin and Tierney had a really nice moment at that stage as well. So yeah, that gave us a lead. I don't know if we created that much really other than that. The second goal, which is, I don't know, midway through the second half, is, I don't know, a potential goal of the season. I know it's incredibly early to go with that kind of shout, and we'll probably score a better goal than that at some stage this season, but I don't know if you've seen, or you will have seen, like the angle behind Hatate, where you actually see the trajectory of the ball, and he starts it away wide right of the post. Reminded me a bit of...
Don't say it. So I was going to bring this up as a quiz there.
Time to find out if we're in the same wavelength here.
Is it a goal? Not okay. It's a goal from the past.
Yes.
Wasn't a Celtic player that scored it.
Oh no, it was. It was.
Oh right, okay, good. Okay, right. You carry on and then I'll speak.
Right, it reminded me of, without having seen it again, remember the one in the 9-0 at Dundee United that Kyogo scored at Tannadice? Same kind of area, curled it in. I think Hatate's might have been better. I'm trying to think who you're talking about now.
Clue, Champions League final. Think one of the most one-sided Champions League finals you've ever seen. 2011.
Messi,
okay, I'm just going to say, I know.
Messi.
No,
David Villa.
David Villa. Yes,
Villa.
Yep.
Oh, good shout.
Do you see where I'm coming
Great
from?
Chat. I'm sure everyone loved that little 90 seconds it took us to get to that. No, I think you're right. That was good. Is anyone still with us? Nah, sound.
Honestly, what a goal. And I think Hatate scored another belter last season at Pittodrie. Remember? Those terrible conditions, that game.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Very different type of goal, but technically it was outrageous. And that one again today. Again, and I know, I'm hoping you agree with me here, but I think Hatate in general was his best game. Very sloppy, gave the ball away a lot, and I wasn't screaming for him to come off. Don't worry about that, because I know that obviously Brendan has a lot of faith in him that when he gets to 80 odd minutes, Hatate can do that type of thing. But again, we saw Pittodrie before, but remember the Young Boys Aberdeen game last year when he was having a shocker. One outrageous pass down the line, and we get a goal, and that's how we qualify for the playoff. And again today, wasn't anywhere near his best, and just one moment of magic. And again, to beat Mitov for that angle is some going. So I thought, I mean, he is, despite how poor Aberdeen are, and they are, I think he is definitely a good goalie. They're very fortunate to have him. What a strike. No keeper saving it. Just a real moment of genius.
Yeah, he'll make a great number 2 to Sinizalo in a couple of years, Mitov. I was going to ask you, when you mentioned Hatate, and you've been known to, maybe not be his biggest fan at times in the past. So Greg Taylor was your big boo boy last season, I think it's fair to say. Now that he's left, I'm just wondering, just so we can get it on record near the start of the season, who is going to be your boo boy for this season?
This is unfair. I'm not genuinely, I've only went to one game where I've ever booed Celtic off the park. I was that angry, and it was the Hearts game we lost 2-0 at Celtic Park. But I've never went and booed a player. I've been annoyed by them, but I've never been a boo boy. So do you know what? I'm not even going to give you the satisfaction of an answer there. There's no player that is my boo boy, but I'll maybe be overly critical of one more than another. Yes, but I'm not a boo boy. I'm not taking that from you. But anyway, it'll be Liam Scales.
That was going to be my punchline. I was going to say Adamida. Yeah, okay, interesting. Well, I tell you what, let's give you a positive one then. You remember last week outside Celtic Park, we did the first, and I've not come up with a proper name for this, everyone, but top 3 players, and we'll add on. And Luke McCowan, I think, got a point last week. I think James Forrest got the 3, and maybe Kieran Tierney. So who would we go with? Top 3 performers for Celtic at Pittodrie. For me, Alistair Johnson, possibly our best player. I would put potentially Tierney in again, and I think Nygren, for me, as I say, I slightly disagree. I think Nygren was pretty good, I thought. But if you get anyone else, I'm trying to think who came off the bench. Engels was all right. Shin looked kind of all right. Had one run down the left. Engels, McCowan,
Trusty as well.
Special. Trusty.
I thought when Trusty came into centre half as well, we looked all right too. I think there was a couple of moments where I think Shaden Morris, who is certainly pacey, tried to do him, and Trusty's recovery speed was excellent. Couldn't get by him. Was happy to see that. However, I think, statistically, for the fact that he scored a goal and technically you get an assist, didn't he, with the pass to
nothing technical about it. I thought it was a great pass for the goal.
Good vision to see the fact that he, he could have easily whipped the ball into the box, but Hatate's in space. So I think you've got to have Nygren in there. I agree with you with Alistair Johnston. Thought he was very, very steady for us today. I would have him there too. Third player I would go with, I know he was booked, but in terms of controlling the game, I didn't have any complaints with Callum McGregor either.
All right. So will we give Negrin number 1? We give Johnson 2, and then okay, I'd go Tierney number 3, but I'm happy to go McGregor if you want.
I'm with you. Like, I'm just giving my choices, but I think the fact that Tierney has got an assist, you would have to go with him as number 3.
Okay, so 1 Negrin, 2 Johnson, 3 Tierney. That's that ticked off for another week. Yang didn't even get off the bench. We had Negrin finishing it at right wing, which I thought was maybe a little bit of a message from Brendan Rodgers, I think, given how poor Yang had been last week.
Just like nowhere in the time, mate. Aye, is that another big message to the board?
Yeah. Okay, just before we finish this video, got a little bit more chat. Big thanks to NordVPN for being part of today's show. And if you'd had NordVPN, you'd have been able to watch Celtic's victory at Pittodrie, like you were right there at Pittodrie, regardless of where you are around the world. It's very cool stuff. Go to nordvpn.com/CelticAM to get a huge discount and also stay safe online. 4 points clear of Rangers already. Steve, what did you make it there? Hilarious draw with Dundee yesterday.
Well, naturally, as a Celtic fan, Hamish, I watched it. I was I get back for the second half. I was busy during the first half, but I was in for the second half, so I saw the hilarity. But I think it was just really surprising. I think Dundee are a team that I tipped to get relegated this season. And if I'm honest with you, Dundee surprised me too. Like, they didn't just set up and park the bus. They actually had a go, set pieces and on the counter-attack. They looked threatening, dare I say. Now, will they play like that against us? Highly doubtful. But again, it's the overall glaring weaknesses are there to see with that Rangers side now. Like, I doubt they'll be like that for the rest of the season. I'm sure they will improve. But I was a bit of a bonus getting into this game, wasn't it? And I'm sure the Celtic board as well for the second week in a row realise that's another result that lets them off the hook.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously like so early in the season, but it's 4 points we're ahead already, and we've our next league game is the week we play Livingston, and we're definitely going to play that game at Celtic Park. Clearly, we're going to be huge favourites. Although Livingston have had a strong start to the season, Rangers not playing that weekend, so I have a chance to go to Ibrox 7 points clear of them, and this is where I think the decision to play the Livingston game, and obviously we need to win that game, but I think that'll prove hopefully to be a pretty good decision, because if we do win that game, you just tick it off. And as I say, what pressure that is on them under Russell Martin, who they already appear to be turning on a bit, to be going there kind of probably needing to win at that stage of the season, being 7 points behind. I know they'd have a game in hand, but certainly if we were to go to, this is kind of getting slightly ahead of ourselves, but if we're to go to Ibrox and win and potentially be 10 clear, at the end of August, that would be like a totally ridiculous position. So it is incredibly early, but we are yet to get anywhere near our best. I don't think we've been particularly great in either of our first 2 games. I think we are going to strengthen at some stage. Maybe the last few hours of the window we'll sign a few players. Like, you must feel good about 5 in a row already. Or am I getting way ahead of myself?
Look, I think you've got to remember here that in the world where everything is bookmarked and you could be clipped, and we're only saying this on the 10th of August. There's a lot of football still to be played. I fully expect that they will strengthen. I feel like they had a great result as well in Europe too. And by all accounts, they've given us really difficult games already recently when we've had to play them. Nevertheless, I think Hibs will definitely be afraid of us anyway, Hamish. So, I think, in all seriousness there, thanks for that. In all seriousness, 2 games in, no. Remember, like, there was all that chat. I think the day before you went to Australia, you saw us beat Aberdeen 3-1. It was a game where, again, Celtic got the 3 points. They weren't at their best. At that point as well, we were already clearing the league, because I think Rangers had dropped points, and we also beat Ross County in opener, Flag Day 4-2 it was. But nobody was coming away from that thinking, oh, high league's done and dusted, it's fine. And anybody that was got a wee bit of a shock because we went and dropped points against St Johnstone, remember, after we lost against Kilmarnock and get knocked out the cup. So I think there'll be a bumpy road ahead if we don't strengthen. I hope you're right that we do. But I wouldn't be calling anything at this point just now. But we could be putting ourselves in a really, really strong position. With the fact that we are playing that Livingston game and we could be going to Ibrox, where I mean, regardless of what happens, we'll still be top of the league basically. So, it would be a great position to be in, Hamish. And yeah, hopefully by then we have actually strengthened for getting into that game, and we're not looking to strengthen after it, just because the window shuts like a day later. That would be stupid.
Stupid, not at all. Okay, that'll do. Is anything else happening, Stevie? Anything else going on you want to talk about?
No, I can't think of anything. Although you'll be loving this one. You do. If I told you I'm going to be in, I'll be away in 10 days, so I won't be in Celtic AM from the 20th till after that to September really. So right. I know you like to have a wee dig about me going on holiday, so there's another one for you, mate.
Not at all. I hope you have a lovely time away, and we'll soldier on without you, I'm sure. Okay, great to chat again, Stevie. I think we'll catch up with you before you go away, hopefully. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. So yeah, I'll be doing a video actually early tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to my 5 or 6 hours sleep, and then we'll be back at it for first thing on Monday morning. So let us know what you made of the game. I'll get some comments up on screen. We'll look into what Brendan Rodgers and other... What are you laughing at?
Remember for your video tomorrow, wear a tie. The way we get and sending it wrong signals.
Oh, yes. We'll see how that gets on. Right, we're going, everyone. See you later.